All right, good morning. How are you? Thank you very much for joining us. And real quick, let's just take a look at what is going on the roads. I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching us from? Are you in Nairobi? Are you using Wayaki Way? Are you on Thika Road? Are you on Uhuru, highway, is it? Uhuru Way, Mombasa, where are you watching us from? Kisumu, Mombasa, Nakuru City. Of course, those who live in Nairobi, you know for sure that there will be many major roads this morning that are either experiencing heavy traffic or a bit of traffic. If it is Nyue, which is the common expression we use when there's no traffic in a particular road, I'd love to know as well. But remember that seatbelts are for everyone. I like that. I picked that from At Materials this morning. And I like that nowadays we just don't do a lot of tweeting and writing. We do search as well that you can always put as your status on WhatsApp or just use it on social media for the sake of everyone else. And remember, you are safe when you're buckled up. Very important, ladies and gentlemen. That's just how I'm starting this discussion. And of course, looking at a notice here for all the pedestrians, which is very important. Allow me to remind you this morning, if you're in your twos, all right, if you're walking, if you're a pedestrian, avoid crossing, the highways, running across the road. There are footbridges. As much as they're not very thoughtful, I hear you say it's quite a distance from the bus stop, you can still, brace yourself and be patient for your safety. Really, you have to use the footbridge. And I want to appreciate, of course, at Roots for highlighting these two things today. If you are a passenger, buckle up. If you're driving, buckle up. That seatbelt is for everyone, and it is for your safety, not for NTSA, not for the authorities. It is for your safety, for your children, and for yourself. And of course, use the footbridge. But now, what is going on the roads as we're speaking? We had a very major accident yesterday. We'll be discussing that. And the number of lives lost there is not fascinating, is not exciting. And we ask ourselves, for how long will we be battling road carnages? And can we be like countries, Sweden, for example, where it is news that 2 people have lost their lives? We want to go to the point where, just like the pandemic has been reduced to 0 fatalities, can we achieve 0 fatalities on the roads? However, now someone needs to assist in Wayaki Way. What exactly is going on? There's a picture. It seems to be a lot of activity. What is going on Wayaki Way? Please let us know at Muhason. I'm trying to figure out, wow, there seems to be movement towards this corner. I don't know if you can see it as well. Please let us know what is going on Wayaki Way. People seem to be running towards a certain direction, and it is a very recent tweet. What is going on Wayaki Way? Are the authorities aware? Please let us know at Lookup TV what needs assistance, and we'll be able to share that. Kindly do share that with us. At Ryan _ OHS, it's really hard to read that, says, good morning you all. There's a female traffic cop on Thika Garissa Road at Bidco who is never ashamed of picking bribes. I wouldn't say pardon me, but this is what I have to do in the Arrival Live segment, because we've had authorities talk about corruption, and I remember having that accountable conversation with an authority who said they are working on corrupt cops. But as you see this morning, we're seeing a highlighted cop, and he's saying she is actually stationed along Thika Garissa Road at Bidco. And of course, Ryan says, I know she's not doing this to feed her children, but stomach her bosses, and I condemn that. Kenyans, please highlight more of this, corrupt cops, if you probably get to, meet them or, actually bribe them. So when you of course highlight them, being bribed, also let us know that you bribed someone, all right? Someone says that is at Minor Senior Citizen, saying, please tell her the other cop was caught with 40 million and he forfeited to the government, all right? And that is, of course, Kenyans are saying cops also need to realize that we are one, and we are trying to achieve road safety, not against them, but they should be part of that. And of course, someone here saying, Vicky Nganga saying, take a picture of her in the act, because I remember us talking, of course, to NTSA, and they said and of course, the lawyers and advocates said, you can take photos of anyone giving bribe or taking bribe. So there's also one, someone says that is the same, behavior of cops in Embu. And of course, it's not good to read that, but I like that it's highlighted this morning, and I'd love to know if you've been experiencing the same by that same corp, so we can find solutions to that menace. However, watu wa Thika Road tunashukishwa na huko kwa mto leo. Why? Mbona mnashukishwa na kwa mto? Mto ni gani? Please let us know what is going on Thika Road this morning. Mbona mnashukishwa karibu na mto? There's a big traffic, I think you meant to say it's bumper to bumper, near Nairobi School, Waiyaki Way. That is very, very important. If you're planning to use Waiyaki Way, well, seemingly it's really heavy there this morning. So that is at Masese Pews via Atma 3 route, saying traffic kubwa sana hapo near Nairobi School, Waiyaki Way. I knew for sure Waiyaki Way wouldn't look so good this morning. But happy new month to you. And please brace yourselves. 30 minutes ago, Waiyaki Way is the pit today. Again, Waiyaki Way taking center stage, both at CA and Nairobi School. Use alternative routes if you can. That is, of course, emphasis laid by Kim Kama, still via Atma 3 routes. So Waiyaki Way doesn't look so good this morning. A lot of emphasis going on at Atma 3 routes, reiterations and echoing of the same. If you can use an alternative route, please do, because they're saying it's hell today, it's pits today, both at CA and Nairobi School. You may want to use alternative routes. Again, at Elijah Odhiambo, giving the same sentiments on Waiyaki Way, traffic near Nairobi School in and outbound. It really is serious there this morning. Thank you at Matthew Roots, and thank you at Elijah for, of course, giving us that update. Still, Waiyaki Way is actually it today. Waiyaki Way is it today. At Este says Waiyaki Way, ima pemayote, jam surely. And of course, that was around 6:30. I agree. It's very early. But we do realize that there are incidents of this kind of traffic also on Mombasa Road as early as 5:30 a.m. So, ni mapema ndio este lakini 6:36 for Mombasa Road. How does it look now? All right, I expect to hear from Mombasa Road shortly. Again, at Melanie, saying the same thing, Nairobi School have decided we won't get to work. Quite interesting. Bruh, it's pure chaos, no movement. Use alternative routes if you can. Avoid that area. I don't know if there's enough emphasis yet, or you need us to still reiterate. If you haven't left the house yet and you are watching Look Up TV, arrive alive, hashtag the morning drift. If you can get or think of alternative routes, if you, of course, planning on using Waiyaki Way, please avoid the Waiyaki Way for this morning. It is really crazy there as we're speaking. Someone has appreciated, a group of drivers here. So allow me to show the company, because this is actually part of appreciation, all right? So the Guardian has been appreciated this morning, and this is at Jameni Watu. What a handle. And he says, via Atma 3 routes, the Guardian country buses driver are good, keen drivers. I am actually curious, and I would love to hear from Mr. Worotet or any other road safety ambassadors if you've encountered the Guardian, country buses. It's also called Guardian Angel. But it's good to appreciate, when people like this are appreciated on Atma 3 routes. It's not always us castigating people. We also know when you do good, all right? Would love to know why you stand out and what other people can copy from you and borrow from you. But basically, this is what I am seeing on Atma 3 routes this morning. What I have picked this morning, however, is that Waiyaki Way is really crazy. Hapo Nairobi School, if you can use an alternative route, then we would actually advise you to proceed and do that. Today also, it's been very, very, loud on Twitter on matters buckling up and using your seatbelt appropriately. Not forgetting that the rapid, result enforcement is still on in all the 47 counties. So if you are a matatu owner, matatu driver, matatu tout, do not forget, I am letting you know, because the crackdown could get you any other time. For the sake of your passengers and road safety, make sure that your seatbelts are in good condition. They're all there, all right? Because we are saying let them buckle up proper and tight. Seatbelts are a must day and night. Thank you very much, Atma 3 routes, of course, also for continuing to reiterate and share that. But what do we buckle up if your seatbelts are faulty? That is the question this morning, and I hope you're following as well. Remember, Guardian has been appreciated on the show today, and I'm really, really glad to see such, tweets. However, ladies and gentlemen, even as we continue to wait to hear from Thika Road users, Mombasa Road users, etc., it's not very exciting what we went through yesterday as a whole country. It was a very serious carnage, and I'd love to hear from the road safety expert once we delve deeper into the discussion on what might have transpired. Okay? Because at the end of the day, as we try to achieve road safety, we are planning to avoid these road carnages. We're trying to do our best to prevent, because as they say, prevention is better than cure. If you agree, we are live on Facebook at Lookup TV, and also on Twitter. The hashtag Morning Drift is trending. And the reason why this is important is that people perish on roads. And on this particular accident yesterday in Kisii, 5 people, 5 others were, of course, 5 people perished and 5 others, according to this update on Twitter, which of course I will look at also on our own coverage. 5 others were rushed to hospitals after a matatu. They were rammed into a trailer at Nyakome on the Kisii-Nyamira highway. And here is the picture if you missed it out. I'm still seeing lights, on this particular matatu. So I'm really curious. Looks to me like full lights. I do not know what the driver was trying to say. I do not know what exactly transpired. But let's actually analyze so that the other drivers or other passengers watching this morning can pick 1 or 2 things. And I would also ask, as we're speaking, are our roads fashioned to allow us to, follow these rules keenly? Are our roads also fashioned to help us achieve road safety? All right? It is very important because I feel that there's more that needs to be done, less talking perhaps, and more action. And when we analyze these situations, maybe 1 more driver, 1 more passenger, 1 more tout, 1 more matatu owner would pick the tips and the cautions and the warnings and the advices that we give here to save the lives today. At the end of the day, we want you to arrive alive. Now, this very moment, send in your questions and your concerns, and of course your feedback on Facebook. We are live, so if you're leaving the house, not to worry. Mr. Worotet is also here, very patient and willing to respond to you. Of course, may their souls rest in eternal peace, and we stand with their families, to those who lost their families to that particular accident yesterday in Kisii County. Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Thank you for creating time and for accepting our invitation. We are, making use of your presence before we have to have you via Skype in the next few years or months or days. But that was just a glimpse for those who are, my fans who are Worotet. So you do want to have this moment with him of course, the Morning Drift. It's good to have you, Sam. I know it's a very somber mood today, because as much as we speak about road safety and protection of people on the roads, we still experience a very serious, accidents and carnages. And I just want to allow you to, start this conversation with us in whichever note you pick, with your camera right there, and we will continue with the flow. Karibu.
Asante sana. It's a beautiful day, but a sad one, because many people did not make it back home to their loved ones. 2 expectant women. Now that one is painful. Among the 17 people who did not make it. I'm on record for saying that Kenya loses 15 lives per day or even more. But you see, when I speak of this, I'm just another psychopath who is obsessed with, they say, cloud chasing. But then when reality strikes, the country plunges into a somber mood. So me, I'm smiling and laughing and like, yeah. Some of us, it is only wisdom that the country will listen to us. I'm not the only one.
Yes.
But some of us, it is only wisdom that the nation of Kenya will listen to us. Just last year, December, you asked me, and we are on record. If you go to YouTube or look up TV, the morning drift, you hear me say many more are going to die. And I even made it clear that we are into an electioneering period, and many more are going to die because we want results, yet we don't have training. We want results, we don't have strategy. For Sweden to lose 2 people in a whole year, it's worrying. Somebody has to go home. How? How do we lose 2 people in a whole year? What did they not even see? But for us, 15 lives every single day. You know, Anki, we've just ended the 2nd month yesterday.
Yes.
And our total count is 1,007 who have perished. Are we on a competition of people dying on our roads? And yet, we have a Minister of Transport.
Yes, we do.
He's never come to address it. I nowadays see Colonel, the government spokesman, trying very hard. He's the government spokesman, for heaven's sake. He should not even be speaking about road safety. He should not even be trying more than the authorities that are mandated. But you see, he comes and addresses these things. A big salute to you, Colonel, the government spokesman. But then, for how long are we still going to mourn on our roads?
All right, and I like that question. We're coming back. We're just beginning this conversation, and we'd love that you be part of it. Hashtag The Morning Drift is on Twitter, trending. Of course, it is trending. And also now, I want us to, take a look at this story that was highlighted last night. And the count might, increase, today if we do not have this discussion seriously. But of course, with my production team are alert on this story. 10 people have lost their lives in 2 separate road accidents, one along the Kisi-Nyamira Road, while the second one occurred in the outskirts of Isiolo town. Now, in the Kisi accident, a public service vehicle rammed into a stationary trailer to avoid a head-on collision with a Toyota Probox. In Isiolo, a trailer lost control, killing 5 and injuring 12 people. Now, we covered this story on our prime time yesterday. We want to take a look at it as we come back to delve deeper into this discussion. All right, quite somber, I would say. And of course, we continue, however, to discuss matters road safety, still hoping that in the next few months into the year, we will be able to save lives on the road. Thank you very much, sir, for being here. And I just want to appreciate those who are already joining us on social media. That is Celine Nyangere is saying, Happy New Month, Anki, watching from Amboseli. Good morning, Celine. What are your concerns on road safety and your sentiments on the carnages? Edgar Handsome Wanyahururu, thank you, sir. Good morning, how are you? Chifwasa Kaoma Emmanuel Chinme. I think you're waking up Emmanuel, right? Thank you. Yes, from Zambia. Thank you very much for watching. You are also a road ambassador, road safety ambassador, and we honor you on the show. She's saying, following from Lusaka, Zambia, I applaud Look Up TV for this program. Thank you very much. We applaud you too. And Raf Muli saying, I would love to interview the news anchor one of these days. Okay.
He's in the USA.
All right.
He's coming from Original Globe Connecting People. That's their organization.
Amazing. I am willing. We'll talk about that shortly. Thank you very much for, of course, watching and staying with us. And, of course, Isaac Reborn and the rest of you joining us shortly. But we have just watched, the road carnages, and 2 of them just yesterday. Very vital and crucial. And I'd love to hear your sentiments, even before we take a quick break, just to open up this discussion.
There is nothing much to say. The country is ailing, especially on road carnage. The first thing, this one we've talked about it more than enough.
Yes.
Training. Somebody will tell you, I've driven for the past 25 years on the same road. But our infrastructure today has changed way much more than it was 15 years ago. Our people trained. For us, when we see a good road, we see speed. We don't want to put into consideration on who are using these roads. Just on Saturday, we were traveling to Taveta.
Yes.
Between Nairobi to Voi, what were we to expect? It's a straight path. You could speed as much as you want, but excuse me, who are the people on these roads? That is a northern corridor. It's a corridor full of trucks.
All right.
So if I am going to use that road knowing very well that trucks are there, what training do I have on knowledge about trucks? I know tankers,
yes,
or any truck that is hauling liquids will not go past 65. So why is it that when I find them at 65, I get to be impatient? I want to go. They are wasting my time. When they are wasting your time, it's clear you have zero knowledge that these guys are hauling liquids, and any sudden swap, the liquid will move. When we were going to Taita Taveta,
yes,
I did not see any crash of a small vehicle. But I saw four trucks that veered off and rolled. 4.
They veered off and rolled.
They were off the road.
Okay.
So I don't know what happened, but they were laying on the side of the road. 4 when we were going. From Voi to Taveta, no single accident.
All right.
And the signs are so clear. I remember the finance minister of Taita Taveta County, called Mr. Andrew Mulawasi, gave a brief and he said, Otet, we follow the speed rules. And something interesting, many people have used that road, but they don't know that at daytime you do 70, and at night you do 50.
All right, let's start from there. At night, you do 70. 50. In the day, you use 70. But do you know that, and how many times have you used that road? We're coming back to talk about the trip, the few things you picked, and the way the roads are fashioned. If people are trained, if they do refresher courses, if people know when changes happen on the roads, because what really is keeping us somber is losing a life when you just have to move from county A to county B safely, but unfortunately, you don't arrive alive. We take a very short break. Trust me, when we get into the next 30 minutes, it gets intense and interactive. Don't miss it. We'll be right back. Thank you very much, Madam Director, and of course the producers of making this happen. Good morning, and thank you for watching Arrive Alive from whichever part of the world you are. Mr. Waratet, Karibu Sana, thank you for, of course, still staying with us. I want to appreciate those who are watching us across the globe, and of course, Margaret Wambui is watching us all the way in the United Kingdom, London. Susan Gary, all the way from Germany, thank you very much for tuning in. Angel Wambui Hana of Saudi Arabia, good morning. And of course, Bobby James of Netherlands, thank you very much for tuning in. Queen Jalebi Sonu, and of course, Onesimus Ralph Muli. It's always an honor to hear from you and your sentiments, and Joyce Kimari in South Africa, Scott Marshall also in the United States, that is Canada to be specific. I'll be reading a bit of your feedback as we continue to discuss, and of course, Ralph Muli, thank you very much for reaching out. We will talk. Margaret Rambui saying, sad for the families that lost their loved ones. May their souls rest in peace. And Ann Kim also watching, of course, from Germany, and requesting Geoffrey Mkeaone Otiete. Thank you very much for, of course, that feedback. On a light note, he's laughed. I hear that is what they call otet in your mother tongue. Welcome back, sir. Now, it is a matter of concern, and we still want to understand from an expert's point of view. My point today is prevention. You know, and earlier on this morning, I personally met an accident on my way here. It was, again, collision.
As early as 5 a.m.
Yes, as early as 5 a.m. This person has neither gotten halfway into their journey, I'm assuming, and they will not certainly arrive alive. And I just want to throw that ball back to you, because it's a lot of don't do this because we want you to arrive alive, but do we really understand when we say avoid road carnages?
Still, I will start by mentioning on training. Fandes Tonik taught me, he's called Afandes Tonik. He taught me and told me, Otet, he asked me, what do you do when you want to stop an accident or a crash from happening? So I was like, I drive safe. And he was like, okay. You have very few minutes and it's happening. What do you do?
Yes.
I told him I would veer off. And he told me, you are a fool, because you will veer off and die, or you will veer off and kill other people. So I asked him, Afande, well, how do I go about it? And he told me, learn to stop early before the crash. If you can anticipate,
all right,
there are people you know, and there are certain tones that when you hear them speak, you always anticipate kinaenda kuumana. It might be a fight, so you stop and just allow them to cool. The same I have personally done on the road. I will share with you clips of the Taveta trip where I managed to stop, and the trucks did whatever thing they were doing. In fact, there was one particular one that was ferrying a UN truck that is being taken from Mombasa to shipment in Dubai. I stopped, and the guy could not believe until when he was now rectifying his move, he flashed lights, he waved, and even gave me the gesture of, you've helped us avoid this. Yes, I was on the wrong, but through your actions, you've helped us do this. Why do we even go for eye tests? Karis keeps on saying it here. Mine was February 1, and it is 6 out of 6. Most people don't even know the eye test is rated at 6, even the ears. So I am at 6 on the ears, I'm at 6 on the eye. What am I listening to my environment? How far am I able to see? He is trying to do a maneuver. I'm a driver. What speed do I think he is at? He's already out. He's not going to make it back. What causes me harm when I stop? So I have stopped severally, and that is why I'm alive today.
Okay.
I arrived alive because I managed to stop before the crash. But you find our people know nothing about road safety. We have a highway code.
We do, absolutely, we do.
If we ask viewers, what is a highway code? Please don't Google, what is a highway code? They will tell you. But some will give you definitions of the highway code of Uganda. What a highway code is in Uganda. What a highway code is in Tanzania is very different from what a highway code is here in Kenya. A highway code is not even a set of traffic rules. It's a highway code. It's a code of conduct for the highway. Then we have traffic rules and regulations. Two different things.
Okay.
So most of us want to pick one line from the traffic and regulations. Another one wants to pick from the highway code, and then they want to put them together and blend them to look intelligent.
All right.
Driving on the highway is totally different than driving on the cities. And that is why we have a code for it. We have a code for it. And on the highway code, there's a section that mentions we must have patrol vehicles, rescue vehicles. We don't even have them around. We don't even have ambulances on that route 104, Nairobi, Mombasa. We don't. Just standing by ambulances, we don't.
All right, so this is an observation you have made even as you drive around. We don't have them.
We lack resources.
Okay.
The highway code states that every major highway must have the jaw of life. The jaw of life is an emergency vehicle that has all equipments. Nahia will mention that.
Yes.
The last one we had was somewhere around Nakuru, but now it's vandalized. It's not even functioning. So Kenya has no vehicle called the jaw of life. We don't. But then how do we expect to save these people? It is the responsibility of the driver. Now 2 expectant women
Yes.
are no more,
Sadly.
plus the babies. Let's assume they were all carrying twins. How are we going to explain this to the husband, to the father of these children, to the partners? How are we even going to go to them to tell them, we are sorry? And yet, if they get to watch this program, they realize all this was avoidable. When you open the tweet, the light is still on full.
Yes, we captured that, yes.
What was he trying to communicate?
Yes.
What danger did he see? He might be on the wrong. He might be on the right. And as I say, full light has no any necessary communication. Ati umepiga mataa, now you have right of way. No. It is courtesy. It is maturity that I see the danger you are in and I be able to stop. But how many? I keep saying we have less than 2,000 drivers.
Professional, yes. You say the rest are car movers. Okay.
But people say that is undergrading. But you see, when you give these guys vehicles, take them outside the borders of Kenya, they cannot even drive. Ata in Tanzania, Kenyans get fined the most because in TZ, a zebra crossing, whether it has someone or not, you have to stop and confirm. How about us? I am walking, I'm at the center of the road. Then, get out of here. I am a road user, the largest category of pedestrian.
Yes.
I am the most vulnerable. If you are hooting at me on a zebra crossing or a pedestrian crossing point, what training do you have? That is where the government needs to go back to. The laws we have.
Yes.
We see a lot of crashes and we hear the driver is at large. They've never been found. 6 months later, they are back on the road with another vehicle. And remember, they are at large after killing people. Enforcement on our side is zero, poor, zero. Until the day we learn when the rain started beating us. I'm very sorry to say this. Expect more. Fatalities. We are still closing in. Closing in is a military term that says, tunaikaribia. We are moving towards the peak of it, the election hour.
And of course, there are a few photos that were trending. I'm going to show them to you shortly of one of the political parties, vehicles just all over the road. You know, the roads were all red, and Kenyan was making fun of it on Twitter and saying, in Kenya, political parties do not respect or recognize the yellow line.
They do
All
not.
right? So when you mention, you know, the electioneering period, there's quite a concern.
We are going to see a lot of Prados,
They
a
were
lot
red
of
Prados,
V8s
yes.
that are going to be driven recklessly.
Okay.
Are their drivers trained? No. If you are trained, you see a yellow continuous line, you must respect it. Because for you, it's not a line, it's a wall. Who rushes into a wall and not get hurt? Look at all the head-on collisions in this country.
Including the yesterday's accident.
There is always a yellow line.
Okay.
And I keep saying, who runs into a wall and never gets hurt? If you are a trained driver, every time you are getting into a shopping center, be there a traffic sign or speed limit or not, you must do 50 and below, if you are trained and disciplined. But you see, most of us just call our relatives because out of these drives, they will get 50 bob to bring unga back home. But then, when the tire burst goes, when you are doing that 140, because you are in a Prado and it's a political season, you are driving a politician.
Yes.
It does not make you be a cat with 9 lives. You're still a human being with red blood like I have. There are going to be a lot of crashes caused by fatigue.
Very interesting.
Because we have to move from this place to this place to this place to go and campaign.
Yes.
We want to go to the marketplace. That day has 4 marketplaces, difference of 100 kilometers. So we have to go each to try and catch up with the market day when the population is high, speeding. They are in convoys.
Yes, they are.
Are they trained to drive in convoys? Peter Kamaro, wherever place you are, he loves talking about heat, driving in hostile environment. Political seasons, people get to fight and throw stones because they are opponents. Are they trained for such? Or that is the moment they will drive into people. That is the moment they will reverse into people. These are things that I'm speaking today. 2, 3, 4 months, you'll see them on TV.
We're really hoping not, sir.
You must see them. You must see them. Because we are not trained.
Okay.
1 + 1, 2. But did you know 1 + 1 can also be 11? Because if you take 1 and 1 and put them together, it is 11. It depends with the foundation you are given. So 1 + 1 is never 2, always. At some point, it is 11.
All right, even as we continue, of course, we're going to get into the roads, how they are fashioned. And you said there are certain lanes where, certain roads where we continue to record high numbers of carnages. And we want you Kenyans to be very keen when we highlight them. Remember, they have just come from a road trip. It's not just a road trip for fun. The Mercedes-Benz crew was there for also research as well. These are road safety ambassadors. But I just want to appreciate someone called Chakula, and I'm very interested knowing the name behind Chakula, saying, wow, interesting. Is it okay for me to read the feedback as it is? Yeah. She's saying, mbaba wetu intelligent.
Thank you so much, Chakula.
Yes, anasema kulikuwa na bad accident, Karen Road, Ngong Road, killed 7 people last week also. She's saying sad stuff. Peter Kakedi, good morning, sir. How are you?
That is my official rider in town.
Yes, I remember him.
Thank you, Peter.
It says, I'm glued to the screen. Thank you very much. And of course, Margaret Wambui saying, there is no learning from mistakes. It's bye-bye to the gone ones as we pray for their departed souls to rest in peace. But business continues as usual. Surely, more should be done, and a lot of accidents are definitely avoidable. So we're talking about very good policies or rules and regulations. We're talking about loopholes in the law, including very, light fines. Because we've discussed all this. But just bring us up to speed, because if I'm a Kenyan and now I'm helpless, I need to know which roads are black spots, which are the 3 top lanes that, according to you as a road expert, have been claiming more lives. Maybe that is what the researchers need this morning. Maybe that's a starting point. and the kind of, injuries, perhaps, again.
I want to speak briefly
Yes.
on the causes of crashes. We have human factors, point number one. These are factors that we human beings decide to do. I am crossing the road and I say, the driver is seeing me, so he will slow down, or she will slow down. The driver says, the pedestrian is seeing me, so definitely he will fasten, add up his speed or her speed to cross. Human factors. Two, we have environmental factors. Black spots.
Yes.
These are known places, by the way. And if you look keenly, they are always at places where it's all about the environment. There's nothing much we can do. River Nithi. You go down and then you go up the hill. So most of us tend to want to use gravity as we go down. But then about Nithi, just as you enter the bed of the the valley,
yes,
it's a slight curve. So when you come at a high speed, a wrong approach leads to a bad exit. You will not go up. You will go straight into River Nithi, and you'll say, rest in peace. Then we have mechanical. Mechanical factors are there. Gari imeharibika kwa barabara. The truck driver is alone. Most of us blame truck drivers.
Yes.
The vehicle has stalled. The truck driver cannot push the truck. So the best he can do is to put lifesaver triangles. And they fear putting them because we advise you put them 70 meters. But at 70 meters, 70 ahead, so it's like 140. He has 70, which is 140. Somebody might steal them. So that is always their fear. So they will put it, but very close to the truck.
That is an error, however.
A big one.
Okay.
That is a recipe for a rare ram. And that is why most people get killed. They go under the truck.
So many.
But I blame them too.
Okay.
Why go so fast that you cannot calculate your stopping distance? So most of the times we've seen people have broken branches of leaves that wanaeka kwa barabara. That is an error, because the lifesaver triangles is reflective. I should be able to see it from far. But if you put for me leaves,
yes, branches,
and let's say it's a bit rainy, I will not see them. The leaves are not reflective. Then we also have what we call hazards. We have temporary and permanent. Temporary are things like fog, snow. They come and go. But permanent remains, so they still fall under the environmental factors. Now, just mentioning the three: human factor, environmental factor, and mechanical.
Yes.
Ask our drivers, what do they know about them? They know nothing. So they get into the vehicle to drive. Are they aware of their surrounding? I am going to drive from Isiolo to Marsabit. What are you aware about that road? That road has massive crosswinds.
All right.
So when there are crosswinds, we drive slow, because unaona ndege ndio iende juu. It has got to a higher speed to create what we call an uplift thrust. So it would easily take off because thrust is there, the uplift is done. But for vehicles, we don't need uplift. We need down push, force. And that is why most vehicles are this way. You probably see the nose, it's a bit shapy.
Yes.
It's like the bonnet wants to face down, so that when the wind comes, it splits. A larger part of the wind atom goes over the car, and the smaller one goes directly. So the faster the upper atom moves to meet and still bond and be one wind, pushes the vehicle down. How many drivers are aware of that? Then, when you are aware of your surroundings,
yes,
how do you adopt?
And I want to, us to talk on the Isiolo Road because the accident, one of them yesterday was on that same area, in that same area. Now with the crosswinds, because I'm sure someone is still going to ply that route, and we cannot say Kenyans shouldn't use that road anymore. What should they have in mind, sir, when it comes to you applying that particular route or road?
If they don't use that road, they'll have to fly. Will they afford flying? They won't. The road is super. And as I said, every time a Kenyan brain sees a good road,
they speed.
It is time to hit the gas. Sasa
Absolutely.
twende. But as we go, are you aware what crosswind does? Ajua crosswind haitambuangi ati we ni trailer ama we ni gari ndogo. When it hits, it hits. We have big banners warning us of crosswinds. How many users of that road even know there are crosswinds? You are driving so fast, and that road has cameras, it has cows as you go into Archer's Post, Merile, Chalbi, as you go up to Marsabit. There is a section that even has elephants. You hear Kenyan drivers at Negonga Dogu. How? Ask yourself, how? And this is somebody who is qualified, and they say they have their driver's licenses. When you are aware of such, how do you adopt in driving in that crosswind?
All right.
When you get to adapt, you realize that is not a speed road. You drive slow on it.
And one thing that I've picked from you, sir, that Kenyans think it's okay to speed when it's at night. However, you should be actually in a lower speed in specific roads, or just slower in the night when they think it's clearer. Just allow me to read a few feedback because you're also, wrapping up. It's always a very short lesson time. And of course, I can see Edwin Kipkirui saying, sad state of affairs on our roads. It's sad and unfortunate to see lives lost every day. Thank you very much, Edwin. And of course, Chakula saying, you said my name so well. Okay, thank you. Mr. David Kahara is here saying, good morning. Food to eat. Interesting. That is, I think, Chakula. And of course, Jackie is saying good morning all. And Kahara is saying good morning team. Saving lives through Arriva Live Talks as usual. Kudos and keep up the momentum. Margaret has added here and said Kenyans are full of practical knowledge, but need to occasionally top up theoretical knowledge to make them even better. And I know there's so much to say, sir, but our time has run out. So I would allow you maybe to, I like the way you've, asked people if they're adapting, if they know their roads, if they're getting equipped with this kind of information. But all said and done, ultimately we have to arrive alive. What would be your closing remarks for this morning?
We did a trip, and part of the research, the roads are good.
Okay.
So we won't blame the roads.
All right.
The problem is us, the users.
Okay.
I'm making this and I'm firm about it. Part of the research that we did, there was a section of that road that personally I clocked 236 kilometers per hour. What weight was I having in my car? It was so full. I had the double weight of my car. My car is 2 tons. So I had more than almost 1.8 tons more. And it's part of the research. I wanted to see at this section, how fast am I able to handle it? It was a very clear stretch. And it is a section that has no wind.
All right.
If it had wind, I would not. So I want to say this, Kenyans. Avoid speed. Because there was a vehicle that was trying to catch up with me. It was a KCY, a fielder. It could not, because at some point I saw it on my rear mirror. It got a bit unstable. So the reason why most crashes are happening is because KAQ inakupita, how? And you have a KCY. So they always want to catch up. And in our convoy, we add KAR, KAJ, the old number plates.
Yes.
So you find people want to catch up to show us that they can do it. Like there is a KAJ in our convoy, yeah? It belongs to Stick. The engine size is 3.8. If he overtakes me, I would not even bother because I'm at 2,000. He is at 3.8. There's no way I can match him. But you find people now start struggling. Then he would do a maneuver and overtake safely. But then I am coming in too first. My stopping distance is too little and there is oncoming traffic. What do? I hit it well. And the driver will always try to save their side, so they give their passengers. To the Kenyan government, to NTSA, to Kenya, to the traffic police department, you people must work together. I am only one, and the impact is so big. What of if the authorities had the zeal and the passion to support such like programs? The morning. This show is a show to never ever miss. A lot more will come because time is gone. For now, military salute to all of you. Thank you.
Did you just say military salute? Of course, military salute to you, sir, as well. And I want to appreciate those on Twitter as well. Thank you very much, Mr. Eugene Anangwe, for the support you've been giving. # The Morning Drift. Kalu Lepario as well. We appreciate you, sir. Kip Kemel Kosgei Sato. Thank you, sir, for, of course, retweeting and following. Ronnie Regan, we appreciate you saying good morning, sir. Harry Tia saying good morning, happy new month to your friend as well, Mr. Nangwe. And it is, of course, a dose of a great morning right here at # The Morning Drift. Don Muhammad and, of course, Dereva Chunga Maisha, tunaona karibu sana, and, of course, road safety and safe driving practices. Not forgetting Richard M. And many other people who are making this happen, including Nelly Chipkemoi, Sami Chege, Queen Linda, Bonfili, and of course Brian Manyora, making this information going out to many people and the rest of the parts of the world. And of course to you, Mr. Worotat, we are very appreciative and look forward to more discussions. I know it's always a very short lesson time. I didn't see Joyce today and I didn't see Scott today, but we are looking forward to having them join us via Skype and Zoom very shortly. So don't ever miss the Arrive Alive. It's getting better by the day. Remember, it is not just a discussion. It is to save a life. It is to ensure that you arrive alive. And we hope you do arrive alive in your next destination, sir.
I will arrive alive.
All right.
We'll never stop speaking about safety. For me, it's a divine call. So it's not just something that I'm doing for the sake of it.
All right.
I'm only happy when you viewer gets back home to your loved ones. And I'm very sad when 17 people don't make it.
There you have it. Allow me to take a short breather. We take a very important commercial break. I did say that. And we come back with the big conversation. All parents, school heads, children, Kenyans, the Ministry of Education, you are a stakeholder. You're on the spot for the matters education amidst insecurity on the big conversation shortly after this break.